Hello and welcome to yet another YouTube video here on this channel. There is a lot of things happening in the productivity space. We actually had two huge product hunt launches. One was Tana, the other one was Toolfinder. I will talk about both of those later. And the last huge update we have had was actually readwise reader or readwise in general. Actually, not just readwise reader, but readwise in general launched a chat feature, and we will cover all of these in this video where I will talk about them, and I will also give you my thoughts on all of this because as usual I of course have thoughts on everything that is happening in the productivity space. But let's actually jump in to the first one, which is the readwise chat with your highlights feature, which I find really interesting because you may have seen note-taking applications have this feature where you can actually talk to your highlights in a chat feature, or just like you would with ChatGPT, except for the fact that you are working with highlights you've saved yourself. I think this is huge, especially if you've been using Readwise for a while now. So as of me publishing this video, all of these updates are a week old, around a week old. I think this is a really cool feature. I think a lot of people who have used Readwise, as you can see, like having 9,607 highlights, finding exactly the thing you're looking for, and also using Readwise for research has become a lot easier. I do have some issues with this, or not necessarily issues, but questions, because it seems like Readwise is now turning more and more into a note-taking app and not just a place to have highlights and then move them into another application. Like many people use this as an application together with their second brain tool. So they will gather a lot of highlights in Readwise and then push them to applications like Tana, like there are some others as well. Evernote is another one. Notion is another one. You can also actually connect this up with things like Snipped, which is a podcast highlighter, and also Voice Notes AI works with Readwise. But the point is that Readwise feels like it is turning more into a standalone application. Like it could be used for that purpose previously, but I think a lot of people actually used it as a way to gather highlights and move them somewhere else later, or using an automation to move them into someplace else. I've seen people do this with everything from Mem to Evernote to Tana. Heptabase has it as well. And a lot of these applications have or will introduce chat. I mentioned Evernote, which has they have talked about allowing you to do chat with your notebooks. The Tana already has it, Mem already has it, and Heptabase had some sort of AI feature, but they don't. My guess is that at some point it will come. Like even Squintle has an AI assistant where you can place your notes into the AI and ask it question based on those notes. So Readwise is actually adding something that I did not think that they would. On one hand, I think it's great because Readwise now is better as a standalone application. I still think it is great as a utility tool with your note-taking app, but I think it is standing much stronger as just a standalone application, just to have Readwise as your note-taking app. For some people, that is actually exactly what they need for their note-taking app, just a place to gather a lot of highlights. So I actually think I really like this in one way. Uh, In general, I think I am a fan of this new feature, even though it is a little it is a little weird to me. I still think that it is a really cool feature that they have finally added, or not finally added, but they have added. And the reason why I was looking at my screen there was to find the note where I wrote that I think all applications will have a chat interface, and that is what it seems like we are getting to the next one, because I've spent too much time on this already. Um, Tana launched. It launched in Product Hunt as well, #1 product of the day. They also launched with their pricing plan, which I think is much better than their first pricing plan. So 8 or 10 for the Plus. With that, you get 2,000 AI credits, 18 or 14 for the Pro, again, depending on monthly or yearly pricing. I think this is great as well. And a lot of people love Tana for what it does, and I completely understand that. It really deserved the #1 spot that day, uh, which was, I think, yesterday. So they have delivered a great product. There are still things that Tana needs to work on, but I like the fact that they have, in my eyes, improved their pricing plan. There is also abilities to now edit in the mobile application. It is early access. You have to turn on that early access, or Tana Labs, I think it's called. I'm actually not sure what it is called. But if you enable that, you will actually be able uh, to edit your notes on the go as well. So a lot of good things are happening when it comes to Tana. I think the product is getting much, much better, and it was a great product to start with as well. So this is something I've talked about many times. It isn't necessarily for me personally, at least not right now. I'm not a big fan of this outliner experience. That is just me personally. But if you are into outliners, if you like bullet point notes, if you've used something like Roam, Remnote, things like that, I think Tana is going to dominate that market in the future. Workflow is another one, because of what it is doing with AI. It is showing what the future of note taking can look like. The last thing we are going to talk about is an application, or not necessarily an application, but a web page that I use on a regular basis, which is Toolfinder. When all you do in your life is try out new productivity applications and make videos about them, this is probably the place to look. I've found a lot of great applications here. So things like Twos I actually found here, which I am currently using. I tested out Amy. I found it here as well. Sublime as well was actually an application I found on Toolfinder. I think my internet is slow again, but that isn't the biggest issue, or that isn't a big issue. My point is that I actually really like this, and I've been looking for a place to uh, find note-taking apps. We had other places where there was information about note-taking apps, but one of the issues I have with searching for like best note-taking apps in 2025 or great note-taking apps to use is that all that shows up are different note-taking apps that have done like SEO content and written about a few of them. Things like Zapier, ClickUp always shows up when you try to search for these things. I like the fact that you have a place where you can jump in and find different applications, because there are so many now, and I actually really like how it looks. So it used to look different. It looks much better now. I can choose categories, I can choose platforms, I can choose pricing like this. So free one-time subscription. I can choose roles. So let's say I am a freelancer. I could click that. I could click designer, and that will change things up. Um, I still think there is some work that needs to be done here, but in general, I think the application looks much, much better than it has done before. And I also, I'm not sure if this is true, but I feel like they're adding more and more utility applications like Raycast, for example, which wasn't here previously. I feel like Slack is also like a utility application. And I like this is another one they I think is recent. My point is just that I like the fact that they're adding more like utility applications. I want this to be my one place where I look for tools. That is why I like Toolfinder so much. They're adding things like Shopify, PayPal, LinkedIn. So I am really liking where this experience is going, and I use it a lot personally, not only to find applications to make videos about, but whenever I get a question about what applications should I use, because my friends and even coworkers tend to ask me because they know I do this a lot and test a lot of different applications. I go into Toolfinder, I search a little bit, I use the different filters it has. So I am really liking it. It is currently, I think it ended up in the first spot as well, but I'm not sure. I'm not even sure that uh, the day is finished when it comes to launching on Product Hunt, but it was at the first spot at some point today. And also, Francesco is probably the reason I ended up here making videos. I actually, back when it was Keep Productive, I watched all of the videos, and that's what actually got me hooked on productivity applications. So maybe a little biased, but that covers it for today's video. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them down below, and I will try to get to them as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching today's video.